Janie Salisbury is a nurse who is in recovery from alcoholism. She was nicknamed Peaches by her late father, Theodore. Should have nicknamed her Steak with a last name like Salisbury. Theodore was also an alcoholic. He called himself a soil master, supplying stores with excellent produce. When Janie goes to pay for her 5 pieces of produce, she asks to use multiple credit cards because apparently the economy is that bad. The store owner, Betty Berry, recognizes Janie's name and realizes she is Theodore's daughter. She shares that Theodore and her husband were drinking buddies, and Theodore's Peaches saved their store. Janie lives with her brother Eric, who keeps asking her for money. She refuses, but always ends up caving in. And that's why you gotta use a credit card to get lemons and a bell pepper. While Eric eats a peach, he says,
"These are aight, but I ain't touching daddy's."
And Janie replies,
"Yeah, Daddy's was the best."
"Daddy must have had nice peaches." Later, while Eric shares weed with a Lil Wayne, a drug dealer named Black spots Eric on the street and asks him for the money he owes him. When Eric says he doesn't have it yet, Black threatens to harm him if he still fails to pay the next time he sees him. Later that night, cops stop by the hospital with a man named Francis Tolman. One of the cops tells Janie that the drunk Francis is refusing to do the breathalyzer test and asks if they can do a blood alcohol test on him, so Janie tells them to ask the nurse at the front desk. Eric calls Janie to ask for her help in paying off Black. Although shocked and appalled, she promises to figure it out. When Janie shares with her nurse best friend Vanessa that Eric is in trouble and needs $1,000, Vanessa urges her to stop treating her grown brother like a baby because he'll keep on using her to escape his problems. But Janie says she's all he has. The next day, while at a parking lot with his girlfriend Eve, Eric spots Black and quickly drives away. Black, who spots them, follows them. When Eric arrives home, he frantically looks out the window to check if Black has followed him. Janie asks if he's selling drugs, to which Eric explains that he's just a user and he's buying directly from the supplier because it's cheaper when there's no middleman. Eric sees Black arrive and begs Janie to give him money. Janie faces Black and assures him that he'll have his money in a couple of days, so Black gives Eric 3 days. During their break, Janie shares with Vanessa that she has a reinstatement meeting soon, and she's confident because she's been practicing with a phlebotomy arm at home. She was dropped down to COVID patients after hurting a patient while drawing blood. Janie then shares that she feels burnt out because she's 32, living paycheck to paycheck with her whole family depending on her, and has no man. Francis calls the hospital front desk and asks Janie to get rid of his blood alcohol test because he's a public figure. He hints at a good reward, but she firmly refuses and hangs up. While on a grocery run, Janie bumps into Francis, who apologizes for driving under the influence and for asking her to delete his results. He then asks her out for dinner. Girl, that's a red flag and a literal walking mop. Janie visits her mom, who informs her that there's a box of papers regarding Theodore's farm and business in the closet that she needs to look at. When Janie gets a text from Francis, her mom says,
"Okay, now I know only a man can make you show gums like that."
Janie shares that she won't go to dinner with him because it's not good for her to date someone who drinks. Her mom advises her not to let her relationship with her alcoholic ex-boyfriend hinder her from finding love and encourages her to accept the dinner invite. During the dinner date, Francis shares with Janie that the restaurant they're dining at is his newly acquired restaurant. He says he had a few celebratory drinks after he signed the deal, but he later encountered the cops who were on a power trip. After a few dates, Francis sends flowers to the hospital, prompting Janie to share with Vanessa what's going on with her and Francis. Vanessa disapproves of him, saying he'll only bring trouble. Of course, the tubi bestie clocks it, but Janie don't listen. While on a date with Francis at a bar, Janie rejects Eric's call and shares her frustration of always having to pull Eric out of his messy situation. Although she rejects Francis's advice to cut him off in his offer to help, she allows him to bring her into his world. Then we're subjected to Janie singing on the stage.
"'Cause you give me a shoulder to lean on."
Soon, Francis surprises Janie with a new red Tesla and a designer bag. The ecstatic Janie then drives to Francis's house to thank him. Francis shares with Janie that he's into real estate, so he knows things agents won't normally tell clients. When Janie shares that she's struggling to deal with papers regarding their family farm, He quickly assures her that he will look into it for her. Francis opens a bottle for them, and she accepts a glass and takes a sip. Although she asks Francis not to pressure her because she's been sober for 3 years, she finds herself staring at her glass. Instead of drinking the wine, the two end up drinking each other. Soon, Janie caves in and buys a bottle, despite tearfully resisting. At home, Janie goes through multiple intense emotions as she finishes the entire bottle.
Hey. It's my name.
Worried for Eric, Janie asks Francis for help and quickly sends the money to Eric. Francis takes Janie to his office and introduces her to his team, including his ex-wife, Toya. Miss Janie girl. The red flags are redder than your Tesla, and you ain't run yet? Meanwhile, Eric is threatened by Black to give his money. He's dusty, so his girl goes to withdraw some cash for him, but only has $600. Pissed off because it's not the full amount, Black takes Eric's Marquis car, which was a gift from Theodore. Unfortunately for Janie, the hospital board rejects her reinstatement. She is then advised to spend more time in training to regain their trust. She goes home to try inserting Ozempic in her fake arm, but she gets frustrated. The next day, Francis shares with Janie that Toya is in his company because the custody judge ruled on giving her a third stake of the company. Janie shares with Francis that she came in after an intern couldn't find a patient's vein to draw blood from. She immediately noticed that the patient was drunk, but she said nothing because he was being prepared for a transplant. Although she also couldn't find his vein, she continued and struck a nerve that caused nerve damage. Because of this, the patient sued the hospital. When she says she can't survive with her current salary, Francis offers to hire her as his new operations manager. Her job will be to oversee the newly purchased urgent care medical center, as it's a great way for her to utilize her experience as a registered nurse. Overjoyed, Janie wants to introduce him to Vanessa, but Francis tells her that he doesn't want to meet her people because she needs to cut off everyone since her world is now upgrading. He notices her tattoo of her ex named Rick and says she needs to have that removed because he owns her now. When Francis makes the announcement that Janie is joining their team, his ex-wife is like, "Girl, bye." Francis gets her a shot glass of Henny to celebrate, and she downs it quickly. Meanwhile, Eric finally pays Black $400. Black accepts it, but tells him that since he's late, he'll need to give him a stack every time he sees him, and it gets doubled every time he doesn't have the money. Eric informs Eve about Black's new demands and shares that Janie isn't answering his calls, so he'll just stay out of the way and handle it himself until things die down. One day, Janie's mom suffers from some physical pain from her gout, making her struggle to stand. She calls Janie but doesn't tell her the truth and simply asks her to help her prepare breakfast. Janie tells her that she can't come because it's her first day at her new job and she's busy. Later that night, Francis comes home to a drunk Janie preparing dinner as they've moved in together. Why do I suspect that this is just an Airbnb rental? When Janie repeatedly rejects Eric's call, Francis answers it and confronts Eric, firmly and angrily telling him to stop calling her. Janie defends Eric, prompting Francis to furiously insult her.
You can take the bitch out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the bitch.
Janie starts yelling more, and when Eric asks what's going on, she tells him to stop asking her for money because she has nothing. Francis drinks while driving Janie's Tesla to his office. When he sees Toya, he kisses her, but she tells him that his alcoholism is the reason why she fell out of love. He drives away and hits someone on the road. The way that man just flew, I'm so dead, and I'm sure that man is too. Francis then drives away. The next morning, Eric, who's at their mom's house, calls Janie to inform her that he's been knocking for an hour, but their mom is not answering. When Janie arrives with the key, Eric figures that she's been drinking again based on how she looks and smells. She quickly dismisses him, telling him not to worry about her. They find their mom unconscious in the living room. Janie tries to revive her, but fails. Grieving their mom's death, Janie drowns herself in alcohol again. Detective Robinson and Burke arrive at Francis' house, and they ask the drunk Janie about the hit and run that happened 2 nights ago. After she asks them where Francis is, Robinson serves her a warrant, and they take her to the station. During questioning, Burke says Francis was their initial prime suspect, but they have identified the fact that he was involved in a DUI and apprehended the same night driving a vehicle registered to Toya's name, and it showed no signs of being involved in an accident. They then looked into her background and found domestic violence complaints against her by Roger Thomas, as well as an incident of public intoxication and a DUI. Her Tesla also showed visible damage related to the accident. Despite her confusion, Janie continues to tearfully deny any involvement. Janie is shocked to hear that the victim died and gets confused as she doesn't remember hitting anyone. When Burke asks her to write down everything she remembers, she asks for her lawyer. Janie heads back to Frances' house but fails to enter the correct door password. Toya opens the door and informs her that Frances left her the house, which she bought 10 years ago, so she'll have to find somewhere else to live. Eric finds Janie back home, drowning herself in alcohol, so he stops her. He informs her that her lawyer says she has to turn herself in after their mom's funeral. He adds that Frances quick-deeded the farm, did illegal stuff with it, and sold it off to a shell company, so they can't use it for her bail. Janie is so dumb. She pissed her life away yet again, all because of some nasty D. Later, Black arrives and asks for his money. While Eric begs him to give him time due to his mom's passing, Janie hysterically tells him that their mom passed and she's about to go to jail. Black calmly pulls out his gun and coldly shoots her in the chest, saying he has a heart, but she broke it. What in the random twist was that? They were exes? Fortunately, Janie survives. She awakens in her hospital bed, surrounded by Eric, Vanessa, Burke, and Toya. Now what the hell is Toya doing there? Janie returns to attending meetings for recovering alcoholics. She shares how she used Francis to escape her world, but his world turns out to be as dark as hers. She adds that the man she dated before Francis was her childhood friend, with whom she partied, fought, and drank a lot. She admits to being the aggressor and leaving him to save herself. He didn't take it well and promised to punish her every chance he got, but she didn't think he'd ever hurt her. Meanwhile, Frances sits next to Black in prison, since Toya came forward as a witness, detailing how she saw Frances driving the Tesla that night. Black shares with Frances that he's there because he shot his ex. When he mentions Peaches, Frances asks if she's dead. Black angrily asks if he knows her, so Frances says he doesn't. What a whack twist. In her mom's name, Janie promises to keep her sobriety. She recognizes she's powerless over alcohol and is determined to overcome it. Alcoholism is a very serious thing, but this Tubi movie was something. Anyway, what did you guys think of this one?
Did you guys enjoy that one? Make sure to subscribe and keep watching for more. I won't judge. You can click here or here.